Awesome. I'm glad that you're here to learn more about inbound marketing. I want to give you about a 100,000 foot level on what inbound marketing actually is. It's the actual opposite of what you see today: television, static magazine ads, print. Inbound marketing is not shouting about your brand or shouting about your product or shouting to an audience that you've paid a bunch of money to and only a sliver of that audience cares, right? That's television. Inbound marketing is all about presenting information that your user group is interested in. Let me give an example. 8 facts to know about artificial turf. 10 benefits of installing artificial grass. So these are frameworks of information that your users in this space, artificial turf, are looking for. When you can tie marketing into long tail keywords, best artificial turf in Texas, best artificial grass in Wisconsin. Those type of searches are done consistently throughout the market. When you tie in a strategy that surrounds keywords, long tails, and free guides, you can do a lot with the inbound marketing strategy. In fact, you can give away a bunch of information and get emails in return. That gives you the opportunity to actually market to these folks, and then you move them through a buyer's journey. And we're gonna go through more of that as I move over to my computer and tell you a little bit more about it.
Okay, let me just quickly jump into this presentation, and we're going to talk a little bit about kind of the details surrounding inbound marketing. I'm just going to read this quote really quick. Audiences everywhere are tough. They don't have time to be bored or browbeaten by orthodox, old-fashioned advertising. Remember in the last video I was talking about shouting about your brand. Few brands, occasionally we do get accidents out there. Few brands have the strength in the market to be able to scream and yell about their brands. The ones that do, Ford, built Ford Tough. It's an example, right? But when you change your marketing and stop interrupting what people are interested in, that's sports, or the 30-second TV ad, or some of the other things that you might be paying attention to in the market, where you're seeing these 30-second TV spots shrink to 15-second TV spots. The market is shifting because the way consumers research information is shifting. We need to do what this last little piece of the quote says, is be what people are interested in. So in this case, we're talking about inbound marketing through the framework of artificial turf. So inbound marketing, just in a nutshell, really is 3 things, right? It's setting up a system to where you are getting found correctly online. So you've got an SEO and maybe a blogging strategy. Number 2, you're working through landing pages that are helping you convert your prospects into interested buyers or interested folks in at least having an appointment with you. And then finally, you're looking at the data and you're saying, hey, you know what? This works or that works, or let's make some changes. The inbound methodology is really that simple. You attract, convert, close, and delight in this example. And you do that through blogging, having very keyword-rich content on your website. You might, in some cases, do social publishing. That's just syndicating content. And we'll talk about that in a few videos down the line. And then having solid capabilities to capture this information, right? So forms, solid CTAs, calls to action, and converting landing pages. Ultimately, those folks become leads. Then potentially you've got a CRM, a customer relationship management tool, or a system, or a way to manage these leads. And then you have follow-up emails, and you set up what we call workflows, which is really just fancy for automated drip campaigns, follow-up campaigns that are done through an automation tool with email. And then finally, you can do other things. You can send out recent installations, happy customer videos. There's a lot of really cool things you can do when you've set up an automation system behind the scenes. All right, so interesting enough, when you look at Google, Google puts out the data that 78% of internet users conduct research before they even consider a vendor. So in this case, it's kind of interesting correlation. This is a screenshot of our Google Analytics dashboard talking about new visitors versus returning visitors. And look at our new visitors are 77% of total visitors. And it's interesting, we've always been around 74 to 78% of our of our users are new every single month. So that's a tremendous opportunity to be marketing information to, because people are looking for what you're offering. So that's a perfect opportunity to give away free stuff. Over on the other side, these are our mobile stats. They've changed slightly, but you get the idea here. And I call this the magic of 78, right? Because we're using this Google number 78. And if you're able to position with that 78% group, you can do some cool things. All right, so I mentioned earlier the buyer's journey, right? And it really is all about establishing awareness. Maybe you're doing that with pay-per-click advertising. Maybe you don't have the budget to be blogging like we have. We're doing it 3, sometimes 4 times a week, because we're using content, we're using our free information, we're using case studies, and we're using a lot of different things to get our information out there. So we're creating a fair amount of awareness. Then we want to be positioned where we have the prospect considering our services. So we're positioning on value, positioning on quality, and really forcing our competitors to position on price, because we're just doing a better job in the buyer's journey. And then finally, intent. Folks are interested now, they're ready to pick the phone up, or they're ready to fill out a form and call you and run an appointment with you. And then of course, the last interaction is the buying decision. So you want a system that's focused on converting, right? These are just social icons, but your website's supposed to be working for you. It's helping you get found. You're converting these folks through the landing pages and content that I spoke about. Then you're closing deals and you're figuring out what's working, and then you're just repeating this entire process. When you are positioned correctly with the magic of 78, you can really set yourself up for creating massive pipeline full of prospects. They may not be ready to buy just yet, but at least they're in your system and you have a way to market to them and continue to build relationships with them. And then finally, when they're ready, you're going to be top of mind awareness, so they're thinking about you when it comes time to set an appointment. And then this is just a fact. Everybody is using search now. In fact, I bet every single person watching this video has at least searched something on their mobile device in the last week. It continues to grow. Searching is it's mind-boggling. Boggling? Maybe that's a Freudian slip. It's mind-boggling the amount of searches that are done every single month. More than half of all internet users read blogs at least monthly. So if you're in a position to where you're putting content out, even if it's just once a week, you're putting out really content about you and relevant information within your market that's focused on keywords and making sure that the content is relevant to your user base. And then this is interesting, and this is why blogging is a really good, an important element of your strategy, is 70% of people click on organic traffic versus paid. What's interesting about paid traffic, however, is you can specifically drive keywords and key phrases and see tremendous ROI with a very specific strategy, which I'm going to go over in the next module. Okay, and then finally, when you put all this together, you've built your buyer's journey, and you're taking full advantage of the 78%. And that's really the entire roundabout idea of inbound marketing. All right, I'll see you in the next video.